Hello and welcome. My name is Joanna Kay with Screen Magazine, and we're coming at you with another HollyShorts hotspot. This time we have the pleasure of meeting Andrea Rosen. She wrote and directed the film The Rain Poncho. This film is a comedy about a day in the life of two lesbian moms raising their teenage daughters in New York City. Therapy, hair, hip hop, and sex abound. Thank you so much for joining me here. I loved The Rain Poncho. It was
Thank
hilarious.
you.
Of course, and it was sweet and it was heartfelt. And something about this film that I wish other people would join in and do is it was about a lesbian couple, um, but the story wasn't about them being gay. It's a slice of life story about anybody. It's two human parents doing the best they can and trying to navigate life.
Yes.
And what inspired you to tell this story?
Um, I sort of reverse engineered because I was at Sundance with a short film that I was an actor in. And this was, I think, like 2 or 3 years ago. And I ran into an old friend of mine. His name is Graham Willoughby, who ended up shooting it. He's a really good DP. And so he was like, if you write something, I'll shoot it. And so then I was like, oh my God, I got to write something. And plus, I was so inspired by all the shorts that I had seen at Sundance. And then I ran into my friend Graham. So then I wrote something with people in mind who I wanted to work with. So my friend Liz plays my wife, and she's like one of my best friends. We were roommates together in Brooklyn for many, many years. Um, and I think she's such a terrific actress. And then the two girls who play our daughters are my other best friend's daughters. And one of them is a hip hop dancer, and the other one's like kind of a singer. And so over the years, I've been getting these videos of them dancing and singing. And like, I just sort of cobbled it together based on the people that I wanted to work with, that I knew would would have good chemistry, and it would be fun and easy to work with them. And then the story itself was inspired by a real event that happened in my life, which was that one time I was raised by a single mom, and me and my mom were coming home. I don't know, it was like 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and like my brother was supposed to just be home, and but like all the lights were out and it was dead silent in our apartment, and we were like, what is going on? And I was probably like 9 or maybe even 8. I was just like confused and like,
Yeah.
and then we saw my brother like emerge from his room with a girl.
Uh-huh.
And like my mom was, she's like uptight and like not sexual and not like down with like people growing up at all. And she lost her shit so badly. And I just watched the whole thing, and I was like, this is so crazy. And so that was sort of like the impetus of the story of my film. Um,
Okay. That's
so
that's great. I love where the story came from, and it's amazing that your team came together so organically because creating your own material is so important, but it sounds like all the parts were already there and you just sewed them together.
yeah,
Um,
my friend Liz, she isn't a therapist, but like could be a therapist. And like, she's like that kind of friend. And if I'm like so upset, she'll be so upset. It's like
uh,
I wrote it definitely for her, and for the two girls who were our daughters, I definitely wrote it for them. And I just like, I wanted, like because I'm from New York City, it took place in New York City. And I just felt like it was so important to show diversity and have just a good soup of different people to sort of represent New York City in a real way.
Absolutely. And you did that, and everything, it seemed like everything went so smoothly. So I'm wondering, was there anything behind the scenes that happened that was unplanned? Anything that can it anything that was a learning experience that you would use to educate future filmmakers on?
I mean, for me, it was all a huge, huge learning experience because it was my first time that I was writing and directing a short film that like I raised money for. And plus I was in almost every scene. So I did a lot of preparation, which meant that my mom, who is a storyboard artist, she drew my storyboards for me,
Cool.
which was incredibly helpful. Um, but like, I guess I just had to do that one to learn so much more. Like, I actually did just shoot another short film a month ago, and I thought I did a lot of prep for the rain poncho. I did like 20 times more prep for this one.
Wow. Okay.
Um, so, but of course, like a monitor broke and a location wasn't confirmed until like 4 in the morning, and,
Yeah.
just like the regular things. Um, and it was really hard. It was fun, but it was really hard. And I didn't do it in enough days, like, but I didn't have the budget. So everyone just like worked their asses off for 3 days straight. And it was such a tall order, and people did me such a solid. And it was like such a gratifying experience that at the end of it, I was like, I want to do this like every day, but with somebody else paying me and with somebody else paying everybody who's here working so hard.
Right.
Um, so yeah, that part was really hard. It was hard to raise the money, and it was hard to ask people to work for free or like way under what they would normally get paid. Um, but that being said, I did just do it again. And similarly, it was very hard. And, there wasn't enough time, but we got it done. We worked really hard. I mean, I guess that's how it is for all short films, unless you like have a real budget.
You've been in so many great projects over the years. When you think back, is there something that still makes you giggle to this day?
Things that I've been in.
Yeah,
I mean, I was on a show called Stella that was on Comedy Central. You know it.
I
So
do. I
it,
do.
to me, like, that's the funniest show. Like, I don't even know if people can find it, but like, it's just so silly and so funny. And it was such a joy to be a part of. So, and that was a super long time ago. Okay, so I really did, I think only 2 episodes of a show called Get Shorty, that Ray Romano's on. They made a TV show out of the movie, and it was like pure joy. It was one of those weird experiences where like I didn't really know anybody there, and they just like were so cool, and the material was so good. And that was really fun. And then I was on a show called Episodes, and I had a really fun character that I got to be like just the most obnoxious, stupid person, and it was really, really, really fun. So I have done like a couple things that I'm like, it's been extremely fun. Some of them amazingly fun.
That's awesome. Cool. Well, and I mean, after watching this film, I do want to know, I would watch a TV series of the Rain Poncho. Do you have any plans to turn Rain Poncho into a feature or a series? And if not, what's next for you?
Right. So I have started pitching it as a TV show, which is like very weird to do during the pandemic, because I don't know that people are really buying shows or like developing shows, but I've had, 2 like awesome pitch meetings and then 2 rejections from those, which is like just the way it goes. Um, so we'll see what happens. I mean, I pitched one show before, and it was like I actually love pitching. And
Nice.
I just love like I think I love like talking and then having people like have to listen to me. Because when I was little nobody listened to me. But so, and I think actually I didn't make the Rain Poncho as a proof of concept for a TV show, but after I made it, people did start responding to me like, "Oh, that would be such a good show." And then my agents were like, "You should, work up a pitch for it." And then I did, and I was like, "This could be a great show." And like a show that I would even watch. And so yes, I'm pitching it out as a show, but like uh who knows what'll happen during this time of pitching. But like I think it would be a good show. And I love shows when women are just funny and like get to be funny, and that there's not like a dude there that you're responding to, and then like, because as a viewer you can't help but be like, oh, he's the funny one or she's the funny one, you know. And then
Yeah.
if you have an all female or a female heavy group, like you're not even thinking about it, you're just like, oh, they're all so funny,
Yeah.
and everyone gets to be funny without being like, I'm a woman and I'm funny, or like he's a man and he's funny, you know, like.
Yeah, it opens the dynamics and you don't have to, yeah, your brain sometimes can go binary, and this
Yeah.
eliminates that. And it was lovely to watch, and I would encourage everybody to watch this. It will be playing in the LGBTQ plus block at 7:30 p.m. Pacific on Wednesday, November 11th at the HollyShorts Film Festival.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Andrea, for joining us and taking the time to chat with me.
Of course. Thank you. It was a pleasure.
It was indeed.